In traditional class-based components, we had lifecycle methods like component did mount, component did update, and component will mount. Functional components introduced a more modern approach using hooks, with the primary hook for managing lifecycle events being useEffect. Now, let's talk about the mounting phase, where we typically perform actions after a component is added to the DOM. In class components, this was done with component did mount. But in functional components, we use the useEffect hook. The useEffect hook with an empty dependency array replicates the behavior of component did mount. It's perfect for fetching data or setting up your component when it's first mounted. Let's look into this code example. I have created simple fetch inside the useEffect with empty dependency array. This means that the code inside the useEffect block will execute only once, specifically when the component is initially mounted. As we can see, the post endpoint is called only once on initial render. If I add a console log, we will also see that it is printed once. Next, we have the updating phase. In class components, we relied on component did update. In functional components, we use useEffect again, but this time, we specify dependencies to control when it runs. By listing dependencies in the array, we ensure that the useEffect block only runs when those dependencies change. This mimics the behavior of component did update perfectly. Let's take the example from the previous scenario and add some trigger state. I will also add a button that will switch the state of the render state. When adding the render state into the dependency array, we will notice that on every click the code in the useEffect is executed. Lastly, let's discuss a mounting. In class components, we use component will mount for cleanup tasks. In functional components, we handle cleanup using the return function inside useEffect. This cleanup function runs when the component is about to unmount, allowing us to clean up any resources or subscriptions. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more React tutorials and development tips, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update.